right, you should be on the study guide for tomorrow's test. It's the Unit 6 test. It's going to cover everything from when we were working with metrics, powers of 10, plotting points on a line plot, adding and subtracting fractions, adding and subtracting mixed numbers, and those will all have unlike denominators. All right, on the first one, be careful, it is not just a multiple choice question. It select all the answers. Anytime it tells you to select all the answers, you know there's going to be more than one. And it asks us how many millimeters are in a kilometer. If we look at King Henry, how many jumps are between kilometers and millimeters?
6.
6 jumps. So would that mean 6 zeros?
Yeah.
Yes, so this is what we're looking for, because if it's 6 jumps, that means 6 multiples of 10. So which one do we know just immediately is one of them?
E.
Okay. What else? There's one other. B. Because when we're taking a number and we're writing it as a power of 10, we write down the 1 and the 10, and then how do we know what the exponent is? It's ever how many multiples of 10 it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 to the 6th power. So on tomorrow's test. It is not just a multiple choice. Number 2, Elena drinks 6 glasses of water during the day. Each glass is 225 milliliters. On the 6. How many liters of water does Elena drink during the day? The first thing I need to do is just see how many millimeters it is. And I would do that by multiplying 225 milliliters times 6 glasses. Okay, so 6 times 5?
30.
Okay. Carry our 3. Then what?
6 times 2, which is 12, plus 3 is 15.
Okay. Carry our 1. Then what?
6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13.
Okay. But this is in what? Milliliters. It asked me a question about liters. So am I doing King Henry again? Okay. So if I'm here now, where do I need to go to get it to liters? The U. So that would be 1, 2, 3 moves. The decimal is implied at the end right now. So 1, 2, 3 moves. So your final answer should be 1.35 liters. If you put the 0 on there, does that change the value? No. No. So I would count this right, or I would count it right without the 0. Number 3, select all expressions with a value larger than 1. So, am I just going to circle one thing? No.
It's just select all.
Now, the first one, we don't even have to work that out. It would be, how do I know it would be larger than 1?
Because I think that says 3/4 and 1/2.
Okay.
You're adding a half to 3/4, so that means you're adding 2/4 to 3/4, and you have 5/4.
Okay, so we know that this is equivalent, 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. So 3/4 and 2/4 would be 5/4. Is that greater than 1? Yes. Okay, next one. If I want to compare fractions, what do? They need a what?
Common denominator.
Okay, what's the common denominator of 8 and 4?
8.
Okay, so this one's already in eighths, so I don't have to convert it. What would I have to do to 4 to get 8?
Times 2.
So I have to do it here.
2. 7.
Okay, so all together, that's 7/8. So do I circle B?
No, you don't.
No. Third one.
You don't even have to work it out.
1 and 1/7 minus 1/4.
Oh, yeah.
What's the common denominator?
7. Wait.
We should multiply. 28.
28. Okay, it won't affect the whole number. This one we're going to need new numerators for both of them. What would I have to do to 4 to get 28?
Times 7.
Okay, so I'd have to do it here. So my new numerator.
7.
What would I have to do to 7 to get 28?
Times 4.
Okay, so I'd have to do it here. So what's my new numerator?
4.
Now, I'm subtracting. I can't take 7 from 4. So I'm going to have to do what?
Borrow from home.
I'm going to have to borrow a whole one. If I had just borrowed a whole one, how many 28s is that?
28.
28 28s. So now, altogether, how many do I have?
32.
I have 32 of them. Can I take 7 from 32?
Yes.
Yes. So,
Which is 25.
okay. So do I circle C?
No.
No, because that's not it. From the beginning, it kind of looks like you might because you do have a whole one. But once you end up converting, then you end up with less than 1. D. 2 and 2/9 minus 1 and 1/2. What's the common denominator of 9 and 2?
18.
Okay. What would I have to do to 2 to get 18?
Times 9.
Okay, so my new numerator.
9.
What would I have to do to 9 to get 18?
Multiply by 2.
Okay, so I have to do it here. So my new numerator.
4.
Now, again, I'm subtracting, so I keep that common denominator, but I can't take 9 from 4. So what do I do?
You
Borrowed, yeah.
I borrowed a whole one. So how many 18ths did I borrow?
18.
18. So now, how many 18ths do I have all together?
20.
Okay. Can't take 9 from 2, so I have to borrow. 12 minus 9.
3.
3. 1.
1.
Oh.
So 1 minus 1 is,
0.
so do I circle D?
No.
Nope. Kind of looks like you might at first though, doesn't it?
But then
If you were adding.
No.
Okay. E. 4/5 and 3/4. Common denominator.
20.
20, yeah.
That took me a long time to figure out.
What would I have to do to 4 to get 20?
Multiply by 5.
So my new numerator.
15. I almost said 20 again.
What would I have to do to 5 to get 20?
Times 4.
So my new numerator.
16. Yes, it would be.
6 plus 5.
A lot. 11.
A lot.
1 plus 1.
2.
Plus the one we carry.
It's only more than
If it's a improper fraction, it is
more than a whole.
more than a whole. So we do circle D.
Okay. E. It's E.
E, excuse me, we do circle E. I circled E and then said D.
Practice me.
All right. 3/8 plus 2/5. Now be careful on the test tomorrow. Make sure you look carefully if you're adding or subtracting. Common denominator.
40.
Yeah, 40, whatever she said.
What would I have to do to 5 to get 40?
Times 8.
Okay, so my new numerator.
16.
What would I have to do to 8 to get 40?
Times 5.
15 is our new thingy.
Okay, and we're adding
15 is our new numerator.
Wow.
5 plus 6.
11. We just did
1
that.
plus 1
2.
plus 1.
3.
So do I circle F?
No.
No, because this is a fraction which is less than 1.
So it's only A and
So
E.
A and E.
Good job.
Out of 6 problems, only 2 of them were right.
That's kind of sad.
So,
All right, find the value of each expression.
bro,
3/9 plus 2/5. What's the common denominator?
45.
Okay. What would I have to do to 5 to get 45?
Times 9,
So my new numerator.
18.
What would I have to do to 9 to get 45?
Times 5,
So my new numerator.
15.
I keep the common denominator. 5 plus 8.
13.
1 plus 1.
2.
Plus the one we carry.
3.
Is it in simplest form? Because you always need to put things in simplest form.
Yeah,
No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yes. I can't tell.
I'm hearing both.
Yes.
No.
I mean, no.
I don't know.
Yes.
I know 2 doesn't work because they're odd numbers.
Oh,
So
wait, no, you.
I'm going to try 3 because I know 3 will go into that evenly. So I just need to check it for this one.
3 it goes into it 15.
3 goes into 4.
1 time.
1 times 3.
3.
Then I.
Subtract 1. Bring down the 5 times, which is 15. Minus 0.
Okay, so was this in simplest form?
No.
No, they're both divisible by 3. 33 divided by 3.
33 divided by 11.
And then we know this is 15. Now, is that in simplest form?
Yeah.
Yes, and I know it is because 11 is what kind of number?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Composite. Or prime. I can't tell.
Prime, because it only has 2 factors, 1 and itself. 1 3/5 minus 1/8. Common denominator.
40.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, on tomorrow's test. Unlike your previous test, where some people used the wrong sign, I still counted it right if you got the right answer. I'm not doing that on this test.
Because it's a very.
If it says subtract and you add, well then, so sad for you. You should look at your signs. What would I have to do to 8 to get 40?
Times 5. 5.
What would I have to do to 5 to get 40?
Times 8.
So my new numerator,
24.
I'm subtracting. I can't take 5 from 4, so I have to borrow from my 2.
19.
14 minus 5,
9.
1 minus nothing.
1. You can. You cannot.
Am I done?
Yeah.
Am I?
No. Wait, I don't like that voice.
You're making me double check my
No.
You're going.
Yes. Well, yes.
Bring your one down.
I said that.
Oh no.
Now you're done.
Now I'm done because 19 is a
I know.
prime number.
Oh yeah. It was an odd number too, but still.
And now the last one.
Oh, because I know we're even.
And 6/7 minus.
2 6/7. Stop talking. Minus 1 2/3. Guys, I know you think the year is over because your Aspire is over. You're still getting grades.
They both go to 21.
Okay? What would I have to do to 3 to get 21? So my new numerator.
14.
What would I have to do to 7 to get 21? So my new numerator.
18.
You can do that.
Okay? 8 minus 4.
You mean 8 minus? Oh, well, 4.
I mean 8 minus 4.
It's okay. Let her do her thing.
1 minus 1.
0.
Okay? 2 minus 1.
1.
Is it in simplest form?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's no possible.
One and four is 21.
Oh, is it 21 or 24?
21.
All right, Jada lives 1 4/5 miles from school. Han lives 2 6/10 miles farther from school than Jada. How far does Han live from school? What should I be doing with these numbers? Adding them, because if he lives farther, then that means more. So let me move it down just a little so I can do my math up here. 1 4/5 plus 2/6. Common denominator.
30.
What would I have to do to 6 to get 30? Okay. So my new numerator. What would I have to do to 5 to get 30? So my new numerator.
24. Okay.
Okay. If I keep my denominator, 4 plus 0, 2 plus 1.
Bring down the 1.
And then what?
Now.
I think something
Now
came.
you can divide by 2.
I said that.
I know you said it's improper.
This is improper. Good. So if it's improper, I have another whole one, don't I?
Yes. Good thinking.
With how many left over?
4. And then you can divide that.
Now they're both divisible by 2.
Well, they were
4 divided by 2,
2.
30 divided by 2.
15. You can do it again.
Is that in simplest form?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Dang, Helen. Never.
Lynn lives 1/3 mile closer to school than Jada. How far does Lynn live? What am I doing now?
Subtracting it.
I'm subtracting it. So 1 4/5 minus 1/3.
Let's see.
Common denominator.
10. No, 15.
Okay. What would I have to do to 3 to get 15?
That's 5.
Yeah.
So my new numerator.
5.
What would I have to do to 5 to get 15?
Times 3.
So my new numerator.
12. I put 13.
I keep that denominator.
13, 12, 1.
12 minus 5.
7. 1 and 7.
And bring down my 1. Is this simplest form?
Yeah.
Yes, because 7 is a
And prime.
prime number.
Prime number.
You gonna say improper?
Yes, I was. It wasn't improper though.
Han's backpack weighs 6/5 as much as Lynn's backpack. Claire's backpack weighs 3/4 as much as Lynn's backpack. Whose backpack weighs the most?
Let's see.
I
So you
think
subtract.
Hans.
You can never know until we work
It's more
it
than
out.
well, actually, you don't know till you subtract.
You do your work.
Yeah.
If Hans weighs 1 1/5 as much as Lynn's, and doesn't that mean it weighs over?
Yeah.
So does Hans weigh the most?
Yeah.
Yes.
His name is Hans.
Claire's backpack weighs 3/4 as much as Lynn's. Well, we already know Lynn's weighs less than Hans, doesn't it? So whose weighs the least? Claire. Because hers only weighs a fraction of what Lynn's weighs. And we already know that Lynn was second, which means Claire is the least.
Oh no. Why is it standard like it's a backpack?
Oh no.
Because she
That must be a thick back.
Andre says 12/16 is greater than 3/4 because it has 4 times as many pieces. Do you agree? The first thing I want to do is to be able to compare these fractions. So they need a,
Common denominator. Which is 16.
which is 16. What would I have to do to 4 to get 16?
Okay.
So my new numerator,
2, 1. I mean 1, 2.
was Andre right?
Yes. Yeah. Wait, I know.
No.
No, they're equal.
They are equal. Andre is not right. They are equal. He said it was greater than 3/4, but it's not.
He's incorrect.
Use the line plot to answer the questions. First question. How much heavier is the heaviest apricot than the lightest apricot? So the first thing I need to do is figure out which one's the heaviest. Well, this one's stuck over here by itself. And each one of these little hash marks is a what? 8. Okay, are we sure?
This was in our workbook before.
Okay. So this would be 2 and
3.
3/8. And then we look for the least one. What's the least one? 7/8.
That's kind of sad.
And if we're saying the difference or how much heavier, can't do, I don't really need these, do I? Already got common denominators, but I can't take 7 from 3, so I have to borrow a whole one. So how many 8s did I borrow? 8/8. If I borrowed a whole one, I borrowed 8/8. So how many 8s do I have now? 11 minus 7.
4.
Is this in simplest form?
No.
No, it can be 1/2.
It could be 1/2.
No, it can be 1 and 1/2 because of the thing. 1.
Yeah. You could be 1. I don't know. Okay. You could be 1, but you're half.
What?
She's right. We missed a step. We didn't finish.
Oh no.
We borrowed a whole one,
And we forgot to put
so that was 8/8, which gave us 11/8, which gave us 4/8, but we forgot we still have this whole one. All right, so now this could be 1 1/2.
I thought I did something wrong.
No,
Pointing at
I made a mistake.
I'm sorry. You was
All right. How many apricots were weighed? How do I know that? Count the X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Noah says.
Noah says that half the apricots weigh less than 1 1/2 ounces. Do you agree with Noah? Well, let's see. We find 1 1/2. If we're doing eighths, what's half going to be? 4/8. Okay, so we start with 1, 2, 3, 4. He says that half of these weigh less than this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that true? No, because how many were counted? 15, and 5 is not. 5 is not half. Okay. All right, and that is it.
Here's the
Please.
real question.